Happy Monday, everybody. I hope that you have been having a wonderful week, and it's winter in New Zealand. We're having a good time. It's a bit cold, but yeah, this is us in New Zealand. We are with Boubacar, our guest for tonight, and we're going to be talking and trying to understand Islam and what it means to be Muslim. Kia ora, good evening, bonsoir, ngiriwe, magadini, akwaba, awuniche. Awuniche?
Awuniche, yes.
And that's from Mali. That's I'm trying to learn how to...
Bambara.
Bambara, right, because there are so many...
different languages. The Bufulani, which will be Jangwal.
Jangwala.
Jangwali.
Yeah, Jangwali. See how difficult it is? You see how Africa is made up of different cultures and different countries as we've been trying to educate each other on this matter. Yeah. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Islam, what it means to be a Muslim. But before we go there, we want to give an opportunity to Boubacar to introduce himself. We are in your lovely home, and thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you very much, Nadine. It's an honor for me to be able to talk to you about it. Yeah.
Yes, so who do we have the honor to interview today?
My name is Boubacar Coulibaly. I'm originally from Mali. I've been in New Zealand now for 31, 32 years. So it's hard for me to sometimes say I'm from Mali because I spend more of my life in New Zealand than in Mali.
Yes.
so it's getting harder and harder.
It is, isn't it?
But I'm proud of both countries. So
of course.
I really love both sides. And there are a lot of positive sides on both sides. Yeah.
No, I understand what you mean because even for me, I've spent, 16 years here. So what I found most difficult is to be able to marry the two cultures or the many cultures that we've got here plus where I'm from to be able to actually find that peace and that happiness to keep on going. So I have worked with Boubacar on different projects, and I would love you to tell us what you do for the African community here in New Zealand.
Oh my God. Or what the African community does for me.
Well, we can ask the African community about that one. We want to
Well, what I mean is that being with the African community make me feel so good.
I see that.
So whatever I do, I'm doing it for myself. The community is doing for me.
Yes.
It's not just that I'm doing it for the community. Yeah. So
but we, as the community, looking at you, looking up to you, we can see what you've been doing, and that's where I was like, maybe that's not a little bit of a contribution.
Yeah, sure.
But sure. I do understand what you mean. We are all here for each other.
For each other, exactly.
Whatever we're doing, even though we do it for us, and we think we're doing it for the community. If the community was not there, then it will not actually come back to us and make us wholesome.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, to me, an important is belonging.
It's belonging.
And many African children, Africans in this country, a lot of the time it's hard to find that sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
If we are not united, if we are not together. You understand the belonging when you are with someone who understands your mentality, or people put you together.
Yes.
If you see two Africans, people say, oh, I know an African.
Yeah.
Or if you say, where is he from? I'm from Mali. And they say, from South Africa. Well, from South Africa to Mali, you got 10-hour flight.
Yes, absolutely.
But we'll group it as one.
As one, yes.
Yeah, so, and it's great to be able to do that. Because if you're back in Africa and you see two white people, two European, you'll say, oh, I know a European. Well, they're from different part of the world. It's exactly the same thing.
It is.
And you create a sense of belonging. So the unity, the gathering of a community has been always important for me during all this period that I have been here. We first started with a soccer team, so we can at least get together and kick a ball.
Yeah.
And then we started an association, which was the African Association of Auckland Region, incorporated, AKARI.
Yeah.
And then after that, we move on to a coffee because the community suddenly got bigger and the goals we had for AKARI did not necessarily work too well anymore for our coffee. So that's why we did that. And then after a while, with all of that, because everything is not only you want to belong, you want to understand each other, but you want to belong to a wider community.
Absolutely.
And that has always been a big challenge. How do you get other Kiwis to understand where you come from and what you feel and what you think?
Yes.
Because of the distance from here to Africa, to Mali is around 17,000 K.
Yeah.
It's not every day that you meet a Malian.
Absolutely.
And it's only 8 of us in the entire country. We have never increased to more than 10.
Oh, wow.
So it's very difficult for people to understand anything about that. However, they try. You may sometimes not like the question, you may not like things. People do try, and most people mean well.
Yes.
You come across someone who is sometimes ignorant, and I believe that racism is based on ignorance.
Yes.
90% of racism is because you do not know. You are
Absolutely,
ignorant. So trying to help on that for the community and for other people to understand each other. To me, culture is very important. So cultural exchange, that's the reason why we started African Film Festival. Because despite all the different community organizations, I did not feel that we are making a big step in terms of people understanding the culture. You still receive questions like, oh, is there any water in Africa? So, okay.
All right, okay.
Well, if you go to a film festival, they show a film with a lot of rivers or forest. People ask you, is that Africa? But the thing is, it doesn't click. The longest river in the world is River Nile. That's in Africa. You see what I mean? If you take the 10 biggest rivers in the world, at least 2 or 3 will be African.
I agree with you.
So there is a lot of water. And being a water engineer, I know as well, underground there is a lot of water. So, but people innocently ask those questions, which sometimes really, it hurts you sometimes.
It does, doesn't it?
If you're not really realizing that actually, all the person needs is more education. And I don't feel the government is doing well in that area.
True.
But the education system needs to be wider to be able to explain things a bit to people. So that's the reason why we started the film festival. Because I can spend all my life saying I love Africa, there is this, here is that. They say, oh yeah, it's just him. But when they see it in a film, they say, oh, okay, this makes me think. And to us, that is really, really important.
You have been doing an amazing job, you and your team.
Thank you, Nadine.
To be able to just, even for us as a small community of African people here, to be able to meet one night and be able to be exposed to the art and the creatives that is coming from the motherland, it actually contributes to making us, feel wholesome, and our self-identity is empowered throughout the whole process. Thank you for that. But today we came to visit you on a different matter. You're African and you belong to a minority group, Islam. So, and we being in New Zealand have been experiencing a little bit of phobia or Muslim people getting offended or criticized for whatever reasons. And as you mentioned, as much as racism is also from people who are ignorant, so I feel like this phobia about Islam is also coming from ignorance. So I thought, given that we know each other and we've worked with some project, I was like, how about we try to bring a little bit of an understanding around what is Islam and what does it mean to be a Muslim on a general, a general concept for someone like me who have never come to a mosque or understand your beliefs. How would you explain what Islam is?
Okay, thank you for that, Nadine. It's a very good opportunity, as we were saying before. It's like sometimes I belong to a minority.
Minority. Yes, absolutely.
But it is a really interesting area. Because, again, to me, a lot of those things in Christchurch is just ignorance, which cause them. And ignorance put people totally apart. And they come with the idea they and us. But at the bottom line, we are just all human beings.
We are, aren't we?
And everyone just want to belong.
Yeah.
Everyone just want to make the best.
Yes.
And that's what it is. So, but Islam, coming to Islam, Islam, the word Islam is an Arabic word, which means peace.
Yes.
So it's really peace, purity, but above all, believing that God is one, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the prophet and the last prophet. Because if you take this country, most people, the number of people who come from Christian background is much bigger.
Yes.
And most people here understand that.
Yes.
And that's because the country was colonized by Christians, and therefore their spread made it that easier. But if you take at the bottom the difference between Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, to me, I see it, okay, you got the First Testament, the Second Testament, which are both in Christianity. The First Testament is a Torah for the Jewish people.
Okay.
The Second Testament is the Bible.
The Bible, yes.
And
the
I
New
say
Testament,
sometimes the Third Testament is the Quran.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a simplest way of looking at it.
Okay, so the Quran and the Old Testament are actually quite almost the same.
All the prophet in Judaism are prophet in Islam.
Oh, okay.
And are all prophet as well in Christianity.
Christianity, okay.
The difference between Christianity and Judaism in terms of prophet is simply the people who practice the Judaism did not accept Jesus Christ as prophet.
Okay. Okay.
That's the only difference between when it comes down to teaching. All the teaching from Adam all the way to Ibrahim, to Noah, to Abraham, and everyone are accepted by Judaism and are accepted by Christianity. But in Christianity, one extra prophet was added, which is Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
And that's why people who practice Judaism do not see that, do not accept that. And so the books and the teaching, and that is the Torah, which is the First Testament called by the Christian. And then when you come to Christianity, and then you got the Bible, which was came. And so the Christians accepted Jesus Christ, and Islam we call it Nabila Isa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ is very important in Islam.
Oh, really?
Very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's very
it's
interesting.
very important.
Yeah.
So, but the only difference is that the Muslim, when Prophet Muhammad came, peace be upon him, that we believe that he's a prophet, the last prophet.
Yeah.
And the Christians say, oh no, he's not a prophet.
Okay.
So that is the main difference.
The difference between the
Christian,
two.
the two religions. And
yeah.
and the main other thing is the Christian went to a level and saying that Nabila Isa or Jesus Christ is a son of God. And Muslims say, no, he's a prophet like all the other prophets.
Okay.
God has no son.
Okay.
God is only one.
Okay.
You see? And God has no son.
Sure.
God does not have a child or anything like that. God is unique and will remain unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the main difference in terms of the thing. So if you look at the teaching, all the teaching which went from Adam all the way to Jesus Christ, every one of them is accepted in Islam.
That's a very interesting point, connecting Christianity and Islam.
And,
where my question would be then, if they both are considered prophets in the Islam religion, then what set these two religions apart? Because if Christianity was going, because I believe like Islam is the youngest religion compared to Christianity.
Compared to the three.
Yeah. So how did Islam come about? How does the Quran or any other book explain the need of Islam to have, came up and competing, I must say, like going head to head with Christianity?
Okay, well, that's exactly when you go back to Judaism. How did Christianity come up? Well, the other prophets and everything was there.
It was there, yes.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like at one point, it was like I cannot say that it's totally the case, but the peace and the teaching of God, the Prophet Muhammad were given a different message, because every prophet was given a message to achieve. Every prophet was given a particular message and a teaching which englobed the one before them, and at the same time they add on to it. So in Islam, it's about peace. It's about unity of God. That's why, for instance, for you to be a Muslim, the first thing is on you to first accept that God is one.
It's one.
And Prophet Muhammad is a prophet. When you say you want to be converted to Islam, they call what is always a shahada. Very simple. You and the Imam said, you just say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. God is one. And Prophet Muhammad is a messenger. You become a Muslim.
That's it.
That's it.
Simple as.
But it is your first, it is your heart.
Yes. Okay.
No one is forcing you to do it. It is your heart. That is the most important thing. So that's why when we look at the Saint Pillar of Islam, the 5 piles of Islam, the five most important things. The first one is your own intention. Even when you want to pray, you do the ablution, and purity is very important, being clean. Before you pray, you wash your hand, you wash your feet, you wash your face, and you go to the toilet, you clean your private part, to make sure you are clean. You have an intention to pray. If you do not have that intention, there's no point of praying.
All right.
That's the first thing. You see, and then so after the 5 pillars are that intention. And then doing the prayers. We pray 5 times a day.
That is on a daily basis.
On a daily basis. And then you do Zakat, which is giving a fixed percentage of your earning or what you got to poor people. Or to you come from you.
It comes from the heart.
It comes from your heart.
So the zakah is not a daily thing. It's probably...
no, it's not. It's a yearly thing.
It's a yearly thing.
It's a yearly thing. If I take the example coming from Mali and from a farming family, where the zakah was paid by my family was we grow a lot of crop, millet, peanut, fonioles, many beans, and many other things. So zakah, and our fixed way was the how can I say, the basket which was used for feeding the family. You counted 40. The 40th was a zakah.
Oh, cool.
Was given to a poor person, to someone who you believe is in need of that. The person may not be poor. For instance, you are traveling, you have nothing then. You may have a lot at home, but there you are in a need. So a zakah will be given to you. A zakah will be given to the poor people. And for instance, that's why if you go to my village sometime, the teachers who are the school teachers sometimes receive zakah because they are not at the place and sometimes they are in need of something. So they are given. Sometimes what's the name? The Islamic teachers. In Islam, in my village anyway, the teacher who is Islam, the Imam, he had a lot of students. No one could pay him a cent for teaching those children. So he had to find a way to feed the children. So he was one of the person that most people would go and give him his zakah.
So basically, like, it's more of giving back to the community and giving back to those who are less fortunate.
Who are less fortunate, who are in a need.
In a need.
That's what it is.
No, I get that. That's and then what about this, like, this fasting that you hold?
And then you got fasting. And you got Hajj. So the fasting is something again is based on the fact which make you understand how people who do not have enough, how they feel. It's to make you more generous. It's to make you, literally when you're suffering, you understand the mind of others. So the fact you are fasting and you are not doing it because you don't have it, If you fast, you haven't eaten anything simply because you do not have it.
Yeah.
You're not fasting.
You're not fasting. That's not what we mean.
You see what I mean? You decide you got everything.
Yeah.
You decide to fast
Yeah.
to retain yourself from having it.
Yeah.
So you don't drink.
Yeah.
You don't eat any food. You don't smoke. Even sex, you sustain yourself from sex.
Yeah.
From a daybreak to sunset.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Just
So all of those, even insulting someone,
no.
you don't.
It's not allowed.
It's not allowed.
Not that it's allowed to actually insult someone, but particularly when you want to fasting.
In fasting, we are all human beings.
Yeah.
Sometimes you flip up, you insult
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But if you are fasting and you insult someone,
you sustain
you are
yourself.
offending the person, you are offending others. Well, you're supposed to be at the most peaceful time.
And pure, because you're
And
trying
pure.
to purify yourself.
Exactly.
And because your body is suffering,
Yeah.
so you are more connected with your
More connected.
spiritual
Yeah,
than
yeah,
actually
with God.
physical.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, no, that I get that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and if you can afford once a year in your life or once in your lifetime, you should go to Mecca for pilgrimage.
So
But
Mecca,
that's when you can
what
afford
does
it.
Mecca mean in the whole concept of the religion?
The whole concept of a religion, Mecca got Al-Kaaba. But Al-Kaaba is a stone, which I believe the stone was put there, or the house was built actually by Abraham and his children.
Okay.
Isaac and what's the other son? Because Abraham had two sons.
Yeah. Is Isaac? I'm trying to scratch my head.
Yeah. So those are the two sons.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the two sons of
Yeah.
So they built that.
Jacob?
No, it's not Jacob. It's not Jacob.
Okay.
Oh God.
Isaac and
because
it will come back. It will come back to us.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what it is. So
Yeah.
that's why Muslims pray to face Al-Kaaba.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where we go for pilgrimage.
And that's where is that?
That's in Saudi Arabia. That's
Saudi
in Mecca.
Arabia.
Yeah.
So that is where Islam was birthed.
Islam was born in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Islam was born in Saudi Arabia and was spread across the rest of the world.
Would that explain a certain code of dressing when it?
Certainly, that is a bigger discussion.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes down to wearing hijab and wearing other things. My understanding on it is that the main thing was be modest. Men, a woman, be modest in your dressing. Adultery is seen as a sin in Islam.
Yeah.
So your behavior is what can push others into that.
Including your dressing.
According to your dress code. So the way the hijab and others came is the intention to be modest, not to get other people's attraction into them to cause sin.
Okay. So that's why, like, from head to toes, you see ladies covering everything.
People do that.
Yeah.
But I did not grow up with that.
Okay.
In my family, we did not grow up with that. But it's Islam got into places through different process. In Mali, West Africa, Islam was introduced through what a branch called the Fatimate. The daughter of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was called Fatimata. So his descendants are the one who introduced Islam to West Africa.
I see.
Yeah, and that's why in West Africa, people who practice Islam, it was full Fatimate. And if during all my childhood, covering your face was not part of it. But in the end of the 70s to the 80s, another branch did came.
Yes.
Which then require covering your face.
Your face.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And that's what we call the Wahhabite. Yeah, so that's when in Mali some people start doing it.
Okay.
And it's still actually a lot of debate about it.
Okay.
You're in the same family. If a woman will decide that she will cover, the others do not cover.
So, how many branches falls under Islam?
Well, the Quran is one. The way the Quran worked is that that's why you work from the original Quran and copying it word by word.
Okay.
The translation, you can translate it to understand the word, but the Quran is one.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you say branches, the main thing which come into your mind are the Shia and the Sunnis. And the word Shia and Sunni came as issues related to who should be ruling, because after the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, you had tendencies. One tendency say, Ali, who is one of the companions, you had the four companions of the Prophet Muhammad, or the most important, well known anyway. You had Abu Bakr, Omar, Uthman, and Ali. So when the Prophet passed away, Abu Bakr was the oldest. Okay, so there were tendencies which say he should be the one who should be the leader of Islam. But there were another tendency which said that Ali, who had grown up with the Prophet from his youth, they say, oh no, Ali understands the Prophet thinking far more than anyone else, so he should be the one.
The one, okay. So there were conflicts.
There were conflicts and there were issues around that.
Okay.
So I can say politics for...
Absolutely, that's what I was going to go. It sounds like
it
was all, it comes down to politics.
Yeah, and then Abu Bakr became the leader. And after that, when he passed away, the same issue came again. And then it was Omar. But the thing is, goes by age. Abu Bakr was the oldest, and then Omar, and then after that Uthman, and after that it became Ali. But each of these movements, when anyone of those died, the same issue came up again.
Yeah.
You see? So the people who are following, who say Ali should be, are the one who are called the Shia.
Okay.
You see? And the other side are the Sunnis. So that is where the difference is.
The difference was...
The difference is. But at the same time, if you follow anything or any religion, at one point there are teaching that one person picked, and the other one didn't pick.
Okay.
And sometimes that tend to create branches, but there are more details than the core issue of the religion itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I sometimes just wondering, when I was asking about the branches, is because even when I look at it, or when like some issues on social media are happening, you've got some ladies, like some don't cover themselves completely, some covers their hair, you know, some don't even wear like the whole gown. They can just hijab, you know, and that's where I was coming from, like, why do we have a different set of...
At the end of it, they come down to the families. You see, in Mali, for me, everything is about your family. Nothing to do with the government, nothing to do with anyone else. It is you and your upbringing and your own conscience and your own...
your culture and your way where you're born.
Yeah, the culture is important, but the upbringing is the most important thing. The upbringing and the things inside the family is really important in it. Because it is, just like Christianity, is an important religion to Africa. And my background is actually, in my dad's side, Islam started with my granddad. Before that, no one was Muslim.
Yeah.
But my granddad was a businessman who used to do import-export. Believe it or not, with donkeys, used to walk from Mali to Ivory Coast to go and get kola nut.
Wow.
Come back with kola nut to Mali. Walk to Senegal.
There's no need of gymming, is there? It must be like months and months.
Months and months with my grandma. Honestly, they used to do that. Yeah. And that was a business they used to do.
Aye.
But he was so wealthy with that, you won't believe it.
I would love to
I don't know if you know cola nut. Coca-Cola, the taste of Coca-Cola imitate the taste of cola nut. Some people call it a betel nut?
No,
you don't know cola nut?
I do, but I don't know this other name.
In the West, in English, I think some people call it a betel nut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kama Cola.
Yes.
Kama Cola the Kama Cola was a sponsor of African Film Festival, or still is, because they import cola nut from Sierra Leone to put in Kama Cola.
Yeah, okay. No,
you see, so it's the same nut.
Yeah.
But
and that's what
Coca-Cola created using chemical, but Kama Cola was importing the pure cola nut.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all
So,
right.
so that was a business of my granddad.
Yeah, and then he went there and he
And
got
back.
introduced
Yeah, to Islam,
to Islam
when he was
from
traveling.
Ivory Coast, or just
In a way,
Yeah.
yeah. Travelers, they pick up things on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get influences by other people, the way they do things differently.
Yeah.
You believe it's a better way, and then that's what you
and
do.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
So that's why my granddad, my dad's side, everyone was Muslim because
Yeah.
of the influence of granddad.
yeah,
But on my mom's side, it's a very different matter. My mom, the interesting thing when I went with Jenny, should really thank Jenny for everything in this, because all the things we are saying that I do,
Yeah.
my wife Jenny is supporting me from the beginning to the end. That's
Yeah.
why it gave me time to be able to do it.
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really important. But we went to my mom's village, we went to Mali and then went to my mom's village. The most striking thing was the first great uncle that we made.
Yeah.
He was totally drunk. Alcohol. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was drunk. And then the second one we went with, he was a Christian priest. And these are both uncles of my dad, of my mom, I should say. And then the third one, who was my mom's brother, he was the imam. So in the same family, you have all three of them.
All of the
All of them in the same family.
but it never caused any problem.
Well, that's what the question Jenny asked.
Yeah.
Jenny asked the Christian priest, who was the oldest.
Yeah.
He said, how guys do you do this?
Yes.
He said, cohabitating. He said, yeah. He said, it's very simple. Your religion is your problem. Our brotherhood is our problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So as brothers, we work together as a family. But your religion is your problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing to do with anyone else.
yeah.
You see what I mean?
No, that's interesting, because it brings me to this other question of how does it, is it for a Muslim person to marry in a non-Muslim person, or a non-Muslim person to be married in a Muslim family?
Okay, I think in that the Islam treats that in a way that if it's a man, he can marry a woman who is not Muslim. But normally a woman who is not Muslim, who is Muslim, I'm saying about the Quran, I believe that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Normally she should not marry a man who is not Muslim, because the influence of man can make the woman a Muslim,
Yeah.
but it wasn't seen the other way around.
Yeah. Is it still like...
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but the reality is that everyone marry everyone these days. In Mali anyway, in the context of Mali that I know best, love has no boundary.
Yeah.
And people change religion. People do become Christian, become Muslim, become this thing.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so you got all of it in Mali.
Yes, I do. Burundi is actually it's got a small number of Muslim, and we do have like public holidays during like Ramadan, because that's the time when you're gonna have to visit your friend for some food and some drinks. You know, you're like, yay!
Everything is there, and it's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
Because it is a time where you really are supposed to be feeding anyone who is in need, anyone who wants. It is up to you to do whatever you can.
Yeah, celebration of sharing.
Yeah, yes, all about sharing.
Yes, and I do remember that it was kind of like a question to see a Muslim marrying into non-Muslim community, and sometimes it will cause problems between two families to a point that a couple could break up. Because the Christian, if it was to be a lady, the Christian, if she's not willing to convert into Islam, then the family,
or vice versa.
Yeah, and it might not and this is where my question is coming from. Is that...
Look, I see that side of it as a community issue. As a personal issue. People understanding of each other's religion and people understanding of each other, and prejudices about each other. Because if you look at Christianity, as I say, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, all say God is one.
Yes.
Okay? All say do good things.
Yeah. Love one another.
Love one each other. Every one of it say, be peaceful with each other. In Islam, they say that if you kill one person, the sin is like if you have killed the whole of humanity.
It's true. That's very profound.
You see what I mean? So it means how human life, it's so important. Anything, life is important. If you don't need it, you don't need to eat or something like that. That is a reason why you can kill an animal. But apart from that, you have absolutely no other right or reason to kill anything. And that is very important in Islam. Now, it's all about peace, and I believe that's well in Christianity. It's all about peace, because you say, Nabila Isa, the prophet, Jesus Christ say, it hit me in one side, I'll show you the other one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to retaliate. It's all about peace. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the community's understanding the deep
faith.
Inside of the religion is what causes the problem.
I believe you too.
You see,
know.
and at the same time adding other issues, cultural issues of family, all the issues between two families into your religion.
Yeah.
Because more problem than it is anything to do with the religion itself.
Yeah. Would you think that it's also based on competition? Because between the two religions, because when I go back, like reflect back on Burundi, like between like Muslim people falling in love with Christian people, but they're not being able to live together because, you know, the family is refusing, for instance, for the girl to be converted into Muslim.
Into Islam.
Islam, sorry. And also they are, what can I say, like, can I call it rules? Can I call it customs where, like, when from my memory, if like a girl was to convert into Islam, then like it's almost like she get detached from her family to serve this other family. Like most of the time, she would just like not even come out, not be allowed. You know, and also the fact that I think it might be a stigma or stereotype that you know what I've seen in Burundi. Many Muslim men would just like, we're almost like encouraged to have different wives or many wives.
I think it's, to me, it's none of those. If, as I say, if you want to be a Muslim, it's very simple. The first thing is your own belief, and then saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I believe there is only one God, and Prophet Muhammad is the prophet and the messenger sent by God. If you believe in that, who on the world can change that? The family cannot make a girl or a woman or a man say that, no, you cannot believe that. It is on the person. No one can change that in your mind. However, if we're saying, oh, let's go to church and show ourselves that we are Christian and show ourselves that we are Muslim, let's wear beautiful clothes and show that we are this, we are that.
Which actually happens sometimes.
And that's all it is.
that's where it ends.
That's all it is. It's all about that. Nothing else.
Yeah, so it's not about the actual religion. It's about how people are perceiving it.
Exactly.
The members of it, how they are perceiving
how
it.
They are perceiving
because then that's where I'm coming from. It gets to a point where it feels like it's a competition.
Well, it's simply family issues between people with their own ignorance and with their own wanting to show themselves one way or another. That's all it is. Yeah, fair enough. You got conflicts in terms of marriage about anything. You want to marry in this family, they say, oh, no, that's not a good family, so you cannot marry their child. Or you want to marry this tribe, oh, no, it's not a good family, you cannot... You don't know much about them. You are not allowed.
Dark land is
you want to marry a white? No, you can't. You want to marry a black? You can't. It's never finished.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to do with anyone else.
Okay, so from your perspective, it's not the customs, it's not the rules, it's actually the families and the community
to me,
outside.
Outside, it is their
outside,
problem. And in Islam, fair enough, it does allow you to marry up to 4 women.
What's the master thing behind all that?
Yeah, but that is a complex one.
Yeah.
Because many people will say, I got only one wife, but they spend all the time mucking around outside.
Yeah.
So you're committing a sin.
So that's better to bring those wives in...
officially
in one.
And the condition is so strict that most men cannot do it.
That you have to look after the families.
Not just looking after the family, you have to love them to the same degree.
Which is not possible.
So therefore you can't do it.
So, another question.
Yeah, but hang on a minute.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that
Yeah.
many men that do it
Yeah.
simply because they want to be seen that they got 4 wives.
Uh-huh.
But it's nothing to do with the religion. They didn't do
It's
it.
not.
Yeah, it's simply because they want to show off themselves.
Okay.
But if they want to adhere to the strict rule of a religion, they can't do it.
Okay, so Islam allows it as long as you can actually love them equally.
Exactly.
So it's a tricky rule anyway, because it's not possible for you to love like 4 people the same way.
So if you can't,
Okay, so don't do it.
don't do it.
If
If you do it, you're committing a sin.
Are the women allowed to do that too?
No.
No fair, Islam. No fair.
I understand.
No fair.
If you want to see that, then you have to go to Nepal. I believe in the Himalayas. In the Himalayas, a woman can have several brothers.
I just recently saw something in the Congo. A woman who had actually is it Congo? Yeah, a woman who had like 7 husbands, and they were sitting around her.
No, it's possible. Some cultures allow that.
Yeah.
But the free monotheist religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam do not allow that.
Yeah. No.
There are quite, how will I say, a lot of things is based on men men as a leaders. But however, women play very important roles. In Islam anyway, I know women play a lot of important roles. They may not be seen as a first. And that's simply because in a period of difficult time when these religions were there had been a lot of wars and a lot of issues. And it has been the brave people, I wouldn't say the brave people, but the one ahead, and the well-educated one, which sometimes the women were not allowed to be well-educated. But again, that's wrong, because a lot of women, Islam allows everyone to be educated. Knowledge is very important in Islam.
That's another stereotype, because as we get to, get the pieces and, about Islam, it's always looking like the woman has the back seat, even when it comes to education. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that one.
That is absolutely. Islam say knowledge. They actually go to the point and saying that get knowledge even if you have to go to China. Okay? That is a saying from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So knowledge is one thing which is very, very important. And men and women and everyone is supposed to be educated. If you are not educated, how do you understand your religion? How do you understand how you should behave? You should be educated. However, there is a difference in which I see a lot when people say education. They're talking about Western education.
Okay.
Does education stop at Western education? No. And that is, to me, that's where the nuance is. If, for instance, you only did your education in Arabic or what another language, and you did everything on that, you are educated. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
But if you are not educated in Western way these days, they will say you are uneducated. Is that true?
If you don't have masters, you actually haven't gone to school.
It's not true. So the nuance is about the education.
Did you enjoy the first episode with our guest Boubacar? We're not done yet. So keep it locked for the next episode.